everyone, and welcome to the Hair and Makeup Workshop of Behind the Curtain. I'm Laura Z, and I work in the Arts Engagement Department of the Old Globe Theater in San Diego. And so thank you so much for joining us for another workshop of Behind the Curtain. This is a weekly live streamed theater production workshop series that gives you a kind of behind the scenes expose behind all the different art forms that are going on that are not maybe a little bit less visible than the actors up on stage, but all these amazing ways to contribute to storytelling through theater. And this is our 5th episode. So if you missed the first 4, check out the rest on our Facebook page. Also, don't forget to join the Advanced Behind the Curtain Technical Assistance Facebook group, where you can build your network of theater production industry professionals. Super fun opportunity to ask any questions that you have or get even deeper in your learning. I'm also so excited about our Monday workshops of Behind the Curtain, which are in Spanish, Detrás del Telón, hosted by the amazing Valeria Vega and Tara Ricasa. And they're here every Monday at 3 p.m., so don't forget to invite your friends to join you for that. And now, one more super exciting announcement. This Friday, if you haven't gotten enough of me through Behind the Curtain, here's your opportunity for more. Word Up is starting Fridays at 6 p.m., which is a fun, festive, word-based collaboration between audiences and artists. So whereas a lot of our programs are kind of workshop-y and educational, this one is a little bit more casual, and that's why we have it on Fridays at 6 p.m. But it'll still be a really cool insight into some of our amazing San Diego artists and their processes, and giving you the opportunity to interface and to participate in what their art form is. And the first guests that we're going to have for this Friday's kind of intro episode are going to be our amazing arts engagement director, Freedom Bradley Ballantyne, and Rachel Pinuelas Morino from South Bay Community Services, who you may recognize from one of our past Behind the Curtain episodes. But today, we are going to spend the next hour exploring the world of hair and makeup. So what is hair and makeup for theater? And if you were the hair and makeup designer for a professional theater production, what would that mean? What would your responsibilities be? And then how does somebody become a professional hair and makeup designer? What are some of the skills that you would use? And then how can you practice those skills in your own home today? So we're going to be exploring some of these questions, along with trying out a little hair and makeup activity that you can join us for. We'll also have some time to answer any questions that you might have for our guest artist today. So drop those questions in the comments section before the end. We also have some very special community partner guests joining us today and a bit here as well. So those guests today will be Ali Shapiro and Azucena Lares of OSP, or Our Safe Place, which is a center for LGBTQ youth in South Bay, San Diego. OSP is an incredible program and community all year long, and right now they're making sure that folks who need their support can still access it. So we'll get to hang out with them in a little bit. Very excited. But for now, I'm very honored to welcome our guest artist. Today, I'm honored to have makeup and hair designer guest artist Ali Reyes to the live stream.
Hi.
Ali. Hey, Ali. Ali is the wig and makeup supervisor here at the Old Globe, and she's been working professionally since the year 2000. Ali is called a triple threat. She regularly works in theater, film and TV, opera, media shoots, and more. She's a licensed cosmetologist, and today she's going to lead us through what it means to create hair and makeup in the theater. Hey, Ali, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me. And you say thanks for being had.
Well, Ali, we have a lot of things that we want to talk about today. But first, before we go any further, could you define what hair and makeup is for us in the context of theater specifically?
We're the shiny, sparkly icing on the cake. We're the frosting on the cake, and we help tell the story through hair and makeup, whether it's pretty or scary or sad or gross. We help tell the story for the designer and the director and the performers.
So I'm kind of noticing that one potential difference between makeup for theater or the makeup that we would do for every day. What's kind of the purpose of makeup for theater? Is it just about looking cute or looking pretty like we might do day to day?
It's to put definition to all the features, to keep the details in, because once you get on stage, the lights will blow you out. And so we want your expressions to be seen. So
nice.
yeah.
Okay, so we have some photos that we've pulled from the Old Globe archives over the last decade or so, just to kind of get a sense of the range of all the different makeup and hair that we've seen on Old Globe stages, from all these different costume designers. We're going to talk about costuming next week, and hair and makeup can kind of fall under this umbrella. But Allie, as we check out these photos, would you point out some of the noteworthy aspects of what we're seeing that might help us understand better what the designer's role was in that?
Yeah, I'll try. I'll do my best.
All right, sounds good. That's all we can ask.
Yeah.
So as we pull up those photos, I want to mention that also I pulled all of these photos from the online press archive of the Old Globe. So if you want to get more details about those productions, definitely check out pressarchive.theoldglobe.org for more details. The website is right there on the screen. But our first picture is, what show is that?
That's the Grinch that stole Christmas. How the Grinch stole Christmas.
Oh,
and that's the Grinch.
Shows. That's the Grinch.
And Cindy Lou Who.
So this costume design was by Robert Morgan, and that year's featured actors were Mikey Castillo and J. Bernard Calloway. So Allie, the Grinch is kind of, that face of makeup is showing us that makeup can create whole other characters on stage.
Yeah, what a great paint can do. He's probably got 3 different greens going, some fluorescent yellows, and probably like a canary yellow, and put together in a nice puzzle to create dimension. And then you outline it with black and white, and so that gives you dimension and more believable in that he's mean or that he's nice. And for her, she's so cute, but in Wigland, she has a curl that goes straight up off her head, and it's a little wig that gets pinned into a little pin curl right here, and then all her hair gets designed or styled around it. So
I had no idea that tiny little curl on top of Cindy Lou Who's head is a wig.
Yeah, it's a wig. It's a little tiny wiglet, and it just stands up right off her head.
Well, I guess I can kind of imagine that would help make it look exactly the same night after night and keep that consistency across all the different performances.
Yeah, and his wig, when it goes on, it connects, so it's like seamless. It's seamless. It's like his whole body. So that's amazing.
What collaboration between so many folks and the costumers. Okay, let's see another photo. Let's see. Next up, we have a production of The Tempest, where the costumes were designed by Deirdre Clancy. So we see Caliban, who's kind of a monster. What are some of the things that we should notice here about makeup and hair?
He's so distressed. It shows like he's angry, and the coloring out of him shows like he's abused and neglected, with different makeup types to show like dark, dirty, angry. But Caliban's character it's so amazing in all that. So not only in his performance, but in his makeup to tell his side of the story.
Yeah. It's so cool how when makeup extends to arms and to the rest of the body, it's still in the domain of makeup.
Yes.
So our next photo is Hurricane Diane, where the costume design was by Shirley Pearson. And so we see 2 of my favorite characters in that show who are just incredible, a little bit more modern day, maybe less fantastical than, well, actually not necessarily. At the end, there was a lot of fantasy, but not as fantastical as the Grinch or as Caliban, but still so much personality coming through in the hair and makeup design choices. Yeah.
Yes, because we were dealing with 4 women in a cul-de-sac in New Jersey that have money, and show like how prim and proper, like Opal Aladdin's character worked in, like, I think Manhattan or something. She was a businesswoman, so she was sleek and put together. Jen Harris's character she's a mom, and she's taking care of the family, but she has to be, hubba for her honey. And so she dolled herself up all the time and made herself presentable. And she wore animal patterns, and all their different characters had a different pattern to show their story. So the wig, makeup, costumes all together told their stories with like one look at them.
Yeah. And I remember Jen playing with her hair on stage. She was doing all kinds of fun things. And it was just, it gave us more insight into her character to know that every time we see her on stage, no matter what day it is, her hair has had some work to tease it up. And we know that person, that character that's represented, cares? That was a choice, you know?
Oh, yes, yes. And she put the work in every single day. She had 8 shows a week, and it showed it was beautiful.
That's right. With her real hair, that was not a wig piece, huh?
With her real hair, we had all the right products and all the right tools and the conditioners and all the things to keep it healthy as, you know, cooking it over and over. That can get rough. So
yeah, I feel you. So the next photo is A Midsummer Night's Dream, costume designed by Clancy. And yeah, this one is, we can see kind of similarities among different people. How do you think that makeup and hair help to tell the story of A Midsummer Night's Dream and these characters, Sally?
Well, I think it shows a community in like a palette of different colors, but all being the same. So it ties in together, almost like you can have different colors of everybody, but they still come from a community to like represent, you know?
Yeah, but
this is beautiful.
Follow the story of like, I know that these people belong together, or these people are on the same team, and this plot kind of cool.
The Popolo.
I love that shot. So the next photo is from a show called Rain, costume designed by Catherine Ross, and that takes place in the 1920s. So I'm definitely sensing that there's some historical context that we can get specifically from this character's hair and makeup. Yeah.
Yes, because to be period correct, you have to go back and do the research and figure out how they were doing their hair back then to get the same kind of silhouette and framing around the face, whether it's a drag and a pivot in the actual roller that they're wearing, or the cut, the way the eyebrows were shaped, the color of red lipstick that they're wearing. Gets real specific, and people can tell, and when it's real good, you're like, ooh, that's good.
Yeah, I love that image especially, and the detail, how much it really does support the story. In the next photo, we have The Madness of King George III, costume designed by Clancy. I remember seeing this show. It was a little bit of a while back, but it's so cool how, even though the King George's costume is still refined and he still has these opulent surroundings, specifically his makeup choices and the wig being a tiny bit askew tells us so much about his demise in this show, and that was like a very specific hair and makeup way of telling that story over the progression of the show.
Yeah, the way he probably the coloring goes away, it becomes darker. When you say his wig is askew because he's not primped and ready to go, it's showing a man that doesn't want to, or I don't know if he was sick. I didn't get to see this show, but
yeah, he definitely, his character deteriorated over the course of the show, even though he had all of these people around him to kind of work to prop him up. Yeah. Noticing he looks kind of ill, you know? And
they probably get more pale and darker in the eyes, maybe a little red around the eye to make it swollen or look sickly.
Yeah. Which amazing. I would not do with my everyday makeup for sure.
No. You'd be like, girl, get that lip liner out of your eyes. No?
So the last photo to check out is from Rocky Horror, where we had the costume designed by Emily Rebels. And that was such a fun show. I also was able to see that one. Awesome. And it's neat because I mean there's so many ways to play with gender and gender expression through makeup. And I'm also seeing some tattoos on you know, and would that fall under the domain of the makeup artist also?
Yes, and the continuity of the tattoo, because in real life a tattoo doesn't move. So you want to know exactly where it was. You want to take a lot of photos, and depending on if it's like a transfer tattoo, a lot of times we'll use a makeup called Illustrator, and it's an alcohol-based makeup, so it goes on with alcohol and comes off with alcohol, so it won't transfer onto anything else. And just with continuity and maintenance, you could keep something alive like that for the duration of the show, or have like a stipple thing that you just kind of push into.
Like a stencil type?
Yeah, stencil. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's neat, because also when actors are going on stage, half the time they're sweating up a storm or running around or diving headfirst into fabric or whatever is around them. And I guess that's definitely, would that be a consideration for the makeup and hair artist to not get smears of makeup all over things or tattoos?
Oh yeah.
Stuff?
Well, and all the tricks of a dresser backstage to accomplish all of that, get them into their place where they're dressed, they're into the next spot, and they're at their places, so they just have to walk on. They don't have to worry. So yeah, definitely all of that's considered, because we're doing it 8 times a week. We want it right.
Yeah.
No time.
Yeah, and we've been talking, we'll get more into the rehearsal process and the production process in a minute, but with all of our other guest stars, we've been talking about how for lighting, you know, there's a lot of preparation, and then there's opening night, and then the lighting is pretty much set.
Yes.
And there is somebody who's still calling the cues and things like that, but the lighting designer is done. But for a makeup and hair designer, I mean, every night there's before the show starts, getting people into full hair and makeup, during the show, doing quick changes and making sure people don't get shiny and stuff like that. And then after the show, making sure that everything is getting cleaned and taken care of. Products are being replenished that are running out. I mean, they're the range of responsibilities. It's kind of a lot, right?
Well, yeah, and it's all about communication. I mean, I was a dresser down running shows for so long, and now that I work in the shop all day long to maintain the continuity of what we're going for every day. Actors know if there's a pin that's different, if the makeup's not the same brand that you gave them before, they know. And it's all about continuity. You want to be continuous. And so as a dresser, I'm going to communicate to everybody above me that I ensure I have everything my actor needs to go on with a really good, like, conscience. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep it the same. And so if they want to change after we've opened, sorry, you had to say that 3 days ago. You know, we needed to talk to designers and directors, and all of us as a team fall in to this big cake that we're trying to present this story to. And so everything has to be the same.
Yeah. And I'm very impressed, because I don't have that much hair, but it's still very hard to make it do a remotely similar thing every day. So the idea of you being able to set something so firmly and strictly that behaves the same way with all the movement that people are doing is pretty impressive. And it really speaks to the rigor of theater production, that things need to be able to be replicated perfectly again and again.
The weather makes a difference. Like if it's dewy in the air, like that makes a difference, especially when we're using human hair, and that absorbs. It all matters. It all matters.
I thought about that. So how do makeup and hair fit into a theater production as a whole in interacting with other design elements? Like you mentioned, lighting has a huge impact on what your makeup design or what your hair would be. Is it the same way with costumes or with scenery or props or anything?
Absolutely. Everybody ties in together. We're like this huge machine running, and I want to make sure like nothing's dripping into their eyes. I want to make sure that when it's set. I want to make sure that I'm not wrecking costumes day by getting it into there. Sometimes we know it happens sometimes, and we're ready for that. But like if we can be on a real established ground, then I mean, the scenery gets busy. We want to make sure the face stays out there. The costumes get heavy or hot, but we want to make sure that the wig and the makeup is okay. We want to shoes are a big deal. What the stage.
Oh, I'm losing your sound a little bit. I don't know if that's just me.
Is this better?
Repeat what you were just saying? You're talking about the slipperiness of the stage.
Yeah, like shoes make a difference, because depending on what stage you're on, like the outside theater during September, it starts to get dewy outside. So we want to make sure everybody is safe at all times. You know, it's just, and when you're there for them, you're their dresser, you have to like see it before they do. You have to communicate like, oh, these are the differences in the day, or whatever it might be. So one time we had a beehive in the trees. Yeah, blotting faces, redoing the lip gloss. Yeah, remember?
Yeah. So there's like a lot of technical considerations. And I even, I guess, with something like sound, where there are microphones that are coming through, that's a collaboration with you if you're the one who's working on wigs, to try to figure out how.
And the mic runner.
Yeah, and the mic runner,
Yeah, you want to you have to do a full prep. Then put the microphone, make sure that you have the microphone set where sound has established, like this is where it goes, this is where we get the best sound out of them. And then you keep continuity, you do it exactly the same way for every single show. And say they sweat out their microphone and they have to change out the whole mic, and the wig runner, the dresser, the sound person, and the artist all have to be together and like in 1 minute undo everything, get it put back together, and get them to places before they skip a beat. So we all talk to each other a lot.
Sounds like a ballet, an orchestrated thing where
Absolutely.
multiple people need to be working on something at the same time. So when it
Absolutely.
comes to the process of a show, from the moment that you get an email or you get a call that says you are working on this show, how do you start? What is the process like?
I listen. I listen to what everybody wants, what everybody's looking for, what the designer sees, and how we're going to approach it and bring it across with the performer being comfortable and safe. We want to know if there's any allergies to anything. Sometimes they are like vegan and they don't use certain makeups, so we have to find vegan makeup that will work for them. It's all about portraying and giving the designer, the director, and the performer what they want, and keeping everybody safe and being able to keep continuity. It's all about that word, just making sure it's right all the time.
Yeah. So at the beginning, as you're doing all this listening, and if the show has a specific setting or a specific historical moment or location or geographical location, are you doing research at that point in time to also learn about what people did for real?
Absolutely. You take yourself into that time period and like think about, you can research what they had available to them at those moments. And if you really want to get down, you can like go into that time period in your head and like with what you have around you and modify it to get the best result as possible. And it's always about, what does the designer see? What are their renderings? And what do we have in front of us that can give them that with keeping the performer happy because they have to do it 1,000 times, and also keeping it easy for all the other departments.
Yeah. So as you do this planning stage, learning about the history, what the other designers are looking for, considering skin allergies and the director's vision, during the rehearsal process, there's all kinds of makeup tests and wig fittings and things like that. You have to kind of figure out what it is that's going to stick for the actual production.
Yes, and then we get to tech and we see it under lights. And then we're either going to bump it up some or see if it gets like neutralized out under a certain light. And then so you have to use a different color.
Right.
How to be generous with the makeup, but not make it look like racing stripes. Do you know what I mean? So anatomy and figuring out how to blend and feather and wash it all in. And it's trial and error, and it's some of the most fun stuff you've ever done. Becoming a character or turning people into character, wow, it's so fun. It's so fun. It's a part of what they signed up to do, and then you get to actually help do it. So, yeah.
And that is so cool to think about how we've been talking about Tech Week and technical rehearsals with all the different theater production designers, and to have that be the moment to see your makeup and hair in the context of an entire set and all of these props and the lighting, and that makes me think even more about how even if it's a play about exactly me, Laura, walking on stage and living my normal life and going normal places, if I wore my normal makeup, it might not translate on stage if I'm surrounded by a set and with other actors, and how what looks normal on stage would be very distracting in real life, but what looks normal interpersonally, just in real life, might be distracting on stage because it doesn't really fit in with all of these other design elements that are kind of growing up around the actors, which is so cool.
And you might blend into the background a little. We want you to be featured. So we have to pump everything up and make sure that when you hit your mark and you're under your light and you look in that camera or out to your audience, that they are enthralled with you and they can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. And then, of course, when it comes to performance and opening night, a lot of designers, that's the moment where they're their whole design is set and they're kind of done. But then for makeup and hair, there's the process of replicating every single night, getting new product, and probably troubleshooting with things that might arise halfway through, like lashes that we thought were going to last for 5 nights are only lasting about 3 or something like that.
Yeah. Do you want me to tell that story?
Tell it.
How in Almost Famous, they added after her, when she was sick in the hotel the next morning, she's like on a park bench and she's sad and she had that overdose and she doesn't feel good and where's her life going? We've ripped off her eyelashes. We've taken away her lipstick. We've blotted over everything with foundation, made her pale, took down her hair so it like was dropping around her instead of up and pretty. And as soon as she does that crossover, I meet her on the other side, put the eyelashes back on, put the lipstick back on, put the hair back up. She walks onto stage like nothing's ever happened. But what we found was that the eyelashes don't last for a week at that point. They only last for 3 days because the wear and tear, the on and off, the glue. So yeah.
And I also love that now that we're kind of at the end of what the process is in terms of once you're actually in performance. But before the actors are going on stage, sometimes you're the last person who they get to see. And so you kind of get to be there for people in their most nervous moments and make sure that they do feel that they're taken care of and that they're ready to go out on the stage.
I think it's where that whole "I got you" came from. It's true. I do all the thinking. I make sure the water's there. I make sure that they're patted down. They have everything they need, that they haven't forgotten anything in the dressing room. And if they have, they don't have to worry about it. I'm going to go take care of it for you. I'm going to have you ready. So all you have to do is your job and I've got you. So yeah, and signing up to be a dresser is really a heart. Like you have to have a lot of love because it's long hours and it's a lot of people. So
yeah. And so we have one more image that we want to show and talk about real quick. So what is this chart that we're about to put up? There we go.
Oh, that's a face chart. That's a face chart. It's to create a map of the makeup design for the artist to follow. And it's also kind of a rendering. So like if I have an idea, I'm going to paint it on this face and I'm going to show people to see what they think. And then we can add or take away from it. But mostly it's to make it so in that 10 or 15 minutes when you're putting on your makeup before you have to get your wig and then your costume and your shoes, that you don't have to think about it. It's just right there in front of you. It's paint by numbers. You just put it on and there's no like creative to it because all of that's already been taken care of. Now you're just going into character.
So let's go ahead and let's use this face chart for a guessing game that people at home, this is your opportunity to help me out, get all the right answers for a little quiz all about makeup. So we're going to practice observing what the different purposes of makeup are and how that might show up on a face chart, whether it's something specific for theater or something for something else. So if you are at home, here's how this is going to work. Allie is going to show us a drawing that she's made on a face chart. It's not labeled, but we're going to look at how she has plotted out the makeup. And we're going to think about whether that makeup design would be for theater, opera, or film. All three of which are Allie's areas of expertise. And so we're just going to figure out which one we think would make the most sense for that design. And this is not going to be makeup for any special character or for a creature or an animal or anything. It's going to be just makeup that in the context of the art form would look normal. Okay? So in the comments, you're going to put whether you think that this makeup design is for theater, opera, or film. Comment what your answers are, and then you and I together will figure out what we're going to give our best guesses to Allie. Ready, Allie?
Yes.
All right. So let's do the first one. Yeah.
And action.
Ooh. Okay. So I see a base up at the top, which looks about. It's kind of in the middle of the road compared to all the other colors that I'm seeing. HL. Is that what that says? It says HL.
Highlight.
Okay. And so that is high light, that's a higher light. Contouring down below, that seems a little bit of like a cool tone. It's not a bronzer, it's like an ashy to create shadow.
Like a taupey color, something with a little gray in it, because we're creating a shadow. We're not darkening, we're just creating shadow.
You're not trying to like put bronzer on, you're just, okay. And then I see rouge at the bottom.
Yes.
To kind of put warmth back in. Am I missing anything?
There's just a little bit of lipstick.
Yeah.
And the rouge is the same as the eyeshadow.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So people on Facebook are guessing film, that this is makeup for film. And I agree. It doesn't look, one person says theater. You know, I'm kind of inclined to go with the theater person because I'm thinking about lights that are on a face on stage. And then I'm thinking about in film, there aren't necessarily those bright lights. So you might not have to create the illusion of dimension maybe. But on the other hand, everybody loves a good contour. Everybody contours these days, right? Maybe it's film.
Right. And this is just to create like where your details are when you do get under the lights. This is a theater makeup.
It is theater. Okay. Okay.
It's just kind of defining all the details and giving a little bit of warmth to the skin. So this one is for under the lights of theater. I'll put up a different one.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. This one. Thank you, folks at home, and good job to that one person who said theater. Ooh. Okay. So that lower eyeliner, unless that's a really stylized film that takes place, I don't know, in the 60s or something. I'm gonna, between theater, film, and opera, what do you think at home, folks? It almost reminds me of ballet. Like I remember I used to have a friend who was in the Nutcracker every year, and her eyeliner would look totally normal from a distance, and then up close afterwards, it was so garish, and it seemed kind of uncomfortable. But I think so that's why for this one, I'm definitely leaning toward opera.
Yes, this is an opera makeup.
Cool. And folks, yeah, opera at home also. All right. Pretty cut.
Because it's more of a paint. Opera makeup's like painted on.
Yeah.
You know, it's more of a paint. I'll do one more.
I see that. Okay. Well, I guess process of elimination wise, we might know what the next one is, but okay, so I'm not noticing that you're laying out the contouring or the dimensions or anything. It looks much more understated than either of the other ones. So is it understated? I'm trying to see like what kind of makeup did you apply? So in this face chart, what did you add?
So everything is toned down from the contour and the highlighting. Yeah. There's more of a soft, dewy, blushy kind of look. Usually when they're doing film, it's high definition, so it shows. Okay. Yeah, it shows you more of like what your natural skin looks like. So we make them pretty and we keep them pretty, and we kind of we don't do a thick paint. We just kind of accentuate all their pretty. So you know, just kind of feature it. Yeah.
Okay, everybody at home, film, we totally got that. And I feel like you said the word dewy, which makes me think that for being on stage under all those bright lights, if I'm dewy and shiny, that is going to reflect more light, and then people will lose dimension from being able to see my expressions and see my facial features. So all right. Well, thank you so much for your beautiful drawings. I love getting to see those.
Thanks.
Good job, folks at home. Thanks for your help. That was a little quick guessing game. And Allie, we actually have had so much fun talking about other things that I'm gonna skip a little section because we're gonna get to see makeup. We got to see a little bit of the most important makeup features for theater that have to do with contour and a base and powder to keep from shining and stuff like that. So is it all right? What do you think about going into welcoming our community guests on?
Yeah.
Trying out our makeup challenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So I am so excited now to welcome to the live stream our amazing friends from OSP, Our Safe Place. Today we have Ali Shapiro and Azucena Lares, and they're coming from OSP, which is a youth center for LGBTQ youth in South Bay. And OSP is an incredible program stuff going on all year long. And especially right now, they're going the extra mile to make sure that folks who need their support can still access it. So put your little emoji hands together in the comments for Ali, another Ali coming to the live stream, and Azucena. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Hey, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, of course. Do you want to introduce yourselves and share a little bit more about what OSP is?
Yeah, so again, my name is Ali. I use she, her, hers pronouns. And like we heard a little bit, our Safe Place, or OSP, is an LGBTQ drop-in center for youth 20 and under. We are located in Chula Vista, across from the Palomar trolley stop. We also have 4 other locations, but we're talking about the South Bay location with South Bay Community Services. And so we provide services including therapy, we provide support groups, we provide gender affirming objects, and we provide peer support and mentorship, case management. And so typically we run out of our physical youth center, but right now, because of everything that's going on, we've been able to replicate our services online. So we run 4 groups every day from 12 to 8. So we have a morning check-in to kind of see how everyone's doing. We have a self-care session that could be painting, meditation, something like that. We have a youth chat at 4 p.m. every day that has a different topic. It might be LGBTQ related, it might be processing related. And then we have an evening activity that the youth like to watch movies or do a poetry night, something like that. So those are the services that we're running right now. And Azucena can talk about our emergency services at the drop-in center.
Hi folks, so my name is Azucena. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And even though OSP services has switched over to online, the drop-in center is still open for emergency cases or crisis, and they will function as a drive-through services, so folks can't just come into the space and hang out during this time for everyone's safety. And I also know like everyone's having a hard time staying home. However, LGBTQIA youth might be struggling to find a space, to find a safe place where they could be themselves and feel expressed and freely express themselves however they want. So I feel like doing online creative artistic challenges is a good way to escape.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for sharing all of this wonderful work that you're doing. That's really important. I'm really grateful to be partners and to have OSP in San Diego. So if somebody at home who's watching would like to access your services or knows somebody who they would love to connect with you, how can they do that?
Yeah, so we have an Our Safe Place email, our safe place at csbcs.org. So you can reach out to us through that email and we can send you the Zoom links and the calendar all through that email. We also have a page on the South Bay Community Services website where you can find our contact information. Feel free to text us, call us, email us. However you can contact us, we'll be there to reply.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of that. And as folks can see, the email that you can get connected to is on the video right now, and it's also in the caption of this video if you want to access it again later. So thank you very much for sharing so much about your work. And now, if you're ready, we'll bring back on Ali Reyes, and the 4 of us together will do a hands-on makeup challenge. I don't know what makes it a challenge because we're not going to compete. This is all fun, but it's a makeup challenge.
I'm scared.
Be scared, even though you're the most professional one here. So what we're going to think about today, and if you want to grab your makeup bag and participate, please do. What we're going to think about today is a little bit of escape. So even though everyone who's on the live stream and everyone at the Old Globe is practicing safe social distancing and really looking out for our community, and we're in isolation at this time, maybe we wish that we could escape. Maybe there are things that we miss, or people that we miss, or experiences that we miss. So the prompt is, we're going to think about how we can use makeup to give ourselves a little bit of an escape. And to express that thing that we would love to be outside doing, through our makeup. So for example, what I think that I will do, because I've had plenty of time to think of this because I came up with it. One of the things that I really miss is in-person performance and interactive performance. And this, if you're watching at home, like this is so fun to get to do this stuff digitally, and I miss being in the room with other people. And one of my favorite interactive performing art forms is drag. So I'm gonna do a quick drag king face. We'll see how far I can get with it in the time that we have. But Asusena, what are you thinking about doing?
I have a pink wig to use, so I'll probably do bright and colorful makeup.
That's so fun to like enjoy spring and being outside, even if we're inside all day. I love that. That's cute. What about you, Ali Shapiro?
So I'm missing the beach, the ocean, the sand. I'm even missing the sky because I'm kind of stuck inside all day. So I'm gonna do some blue, maybe some blue and white, something like that.
Oh, I love that. I love that you're gonna discover what it is in the moment. I'm kind of jealous. I almost want to change my prompt so I can figure it. I can explore in the moment too. What about you, Ali Reyes?
I'm gonna go for the disgruntled Easter bunny look. Seeing how the kids couldn't see the Easter bunny this last Easter, I dressed up as the Easter bunny, and so it's pretty much what I have in my head, in my hand, and ready to go.
Nice. Okay. All right. So we have about 15 minutes to do a full face and hair as best we can. The three of us newbies will get to ask Ali Reyes any questions that we have. Ali, feel free to give us any helpful hints that you might be able to give us as we go through it. But otherwise, let's get going.
So excited.
Let's do it. Yay. Okay. Gotta get all my stuff together.
All right.
So, I mean, Ali, I know that folks at home probably don't have a full kit of stage makeup, and I definitely don't. What are some things that you would suggest people could use or repurpose for other things than we might initially think we could use them for in terms of makeup? Does that make sense?
I mean, I was thinking like maybe a children's palette of watercolor. If you had it to the right consistency and spread out maybe on a plate or a palette and keeping the colors different, you could also mix and match the colors to make colors. You know?
Yeah, I never thought about that before because kids paint is non-toxic, right? And that would be the reason.
Non-toxic, yeah. And
so cool.
Maybe you could put that over a base and like maybe pat it in so it's not wiped. You can like push on it so you get more pigment from it.
Ooh.
So you could try that.
That sounds really fun. I kind of want to try that sometime just because.
Just see if it works, huh? Me too.
Yeah. Okay. I'm so nervous right now because I know that I'm going to be rushed for time. I don't want to rush through it. Oh, I love that blue eye that you already have going, Ali.
Thank you.
Very fun. Okay, let's see if I can.
So cool.
Cute. I got to do a whole jawline. How did I do this in the past? Oh, gee. What am I? Okay.
Under pressure.
I know. Speaking of under pressure, sometimes for Halloween I was Freddie Mercury a couple of times, and that's where the practice that I'm trying to remember this as. Ali, any helpful hints for a more masculine jawline?
Oh, I'm sorry, a masculine jawline?
Yeah.
A masculine jawline's gonna have more angles to it, no roundness. So it's gonna be like straight angles, lines almost, very square, very triangle, very linear, where a female makeup is round and curvy and soft and blended and half moons in the temples and everything's really blended.
Okay. So I'll try not to blend as much, which I guess means I have to get it right more the first time. I just realized I was covering my face the whole time with this thing.
Me too.
Oh my goodness, your bunny is already underway. That's so cool.
I cheated because I put makeup on first. That original bunny makeup takes 2.5 hours.
Oh my goodness.
From pin curls to,
That's for a professional too. It takes a professional that long.
Pin curls.
Wow. Asusena, I can't see what you're doing yet, but I'm so excited for the wig reveal. I wish I had a pink wig at my home.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay. Oh no, I'm not supposed to blend too much, but that means that I should have done the lines perfectly the first time. Oh my gosh, Ali Reyes, you are so fast. Okay.
What? I'm behind everybody.
I don't know about that. Okay, I remember one time somebody told me that in terms of foreheads, I don't know if this is true. This was like somebody told me one time that this is a historical fact that I've never verified. So with that context, I heard that in the caveman days, quote unquote, male cavemen would battle each other using their heads, and therefore we associate more masculine foreheads to have a more pronounced brow bone or something like that. Ali Reyes, does that ring any bells for you in the makeup world? That was a face of confusion. I don't think so.
No, it's like me like putting out my furrowed brow.
Yeah.
I just think like I don't know. I really have never heard that before. So like a more defined brow ridge would make you masculine? Maybe because it's more square.
Yeah.
More square, not soft.
Yeah. Yeah, just like another angle to cut across a face.
Yeah.
So I can take off my earrings for this moment. Well, I love that white eyeliner that you're using, Ali Shapiro.
Well, thank you.
So pretty.
Yes, queen.
I love liquid eyeliner.
That's liquid. And you happen to have a white liquid eyeliner? That's so cool.
I do. It's not the greatest one, but it works.
Who
Yeah,
makes it?
That's like a really fun one for stage makeup.
I got it on, I don't know how to say it. Handaeum? It's from Amazon.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But I'm looking for a better one. So if you have any recommendations.
Oh, girl, I got makeup from all over the map. What works is what works, you know, and it's just trial and error. You know how it goes. We have from, can I say makeup names? We have
I don't know.
NYX,
All right.
Sephora, Benefit, Tarte. Oh my God, I love makeup. And I'm a hairdresser that had to be a makeup artist.
Oh, that's right. Your first and primary love was hair design, right? First and foremost.
Was it love or was it forced? My mom told me I had to become a hairdresser. She was right. She was right. I was like, you know, it's one of the most fun. I don't know. It's definitely an experience. Mostly, it's not. It's just such a roller coaster of emotions and shared time and experience and creativity and collaboration. It's really, I'm lucky. I know I'm lucky.
Well, the Old Globe is lucky too.
Yeah, everybody I've got to work with, I know I'm lucky.
Okay,
thank you.
What are your favorite blending tools, Ali?
Brushes.
I wish I was.
Brushes make everything. They make everything better. You have all kinds of different kinds of brushes, sizes, shapes. Like it makes everything better.
Yeah, I'm lazy about washing brushes, which is why I don't use them as much. But I should.
I mean, I have the puff, the brush, the wedge, all of it. Like, you know, just your finger. You can use your finger.
Yeah. And I figure since we're here, this might be a good time to take some questions from online, Ali
Sure.
Reyes. So is that
sure.
I pass? Okay. So somebody would like to know. Someone first of all says that Ali rocks their world and that they love you.
What?
Comment number 1.
Dang it!
The first question though is, I would think makeup on an actor's face would make them heat up and therefore sweat more. What is done to keep the added sweat from making the makeup run? They do keep sweating, don't they?
Yeah, you know what a secret is? Zinc powder. Zinc baby powder, zinc, yeah, because wherever the zinc powder goes, they don't sweat there. They'll sweat all down the back of their head and their neck and their back before they sweat on their face.
Oh, whoa. Wow.
Yeah. When I did Santa Claus stuff, when I used to do Santa Claus, I would powder him with zinc powder because like he's got a beard, a mustache, eyebrows, a wig, a hat, boots, a coat. I was like, oh baby.
I'm a very sweaty person, so I think that
it's in the baby powder section.
Oh,
gotta check that out for sure. What color did you put on your eyes, Azucena? Is that purple?
Yeah, it's all purple and icy purple.
I love it. I love it. It's very playful. There's another sweat question online for you, Ali Reyes. It's, do you ever have a problem with actors sweating their makeup off under the lights, which you kind of just addressed there. So, and I guess you're also ready to be right off stage and helping people to fix it, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, even sweating period, like you have to think about like what they put in their bodies too. You know what I mean? If they smoke cigarettes, that's a thing too. How we keep them cool is I'll take like you can put something icy on their wrists to cool their body down, to cool them down. We have fans backstage.
I never thought of all that.
We keep and then we blot them with paper towels, because the paper towel, like if you blot instead of rub or push, if you just blot, the sweat will absorb into the paper and the makeup won't move. So there's that too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Lots of sweat tricks. I'm going to use these for these broadcasts as it gets to be summer.
I worked with an amazing man, amazing actor. Can I say his name? His Clarence Williams III. We were on a series together, and he had us put ice into like one of those ice bags and have a washcloth living on it. And when we would cut, we'd go into him and he'd take the icy cold dry cloth and press it into his face. It would cool him down immediately.
Whoa. And he just knew that was something that worked for him perfectly.
We had the baby. Yeah, we called it the baby. And I pulled that trick out on Much Ado About Nothing a couple of years ago, and it was our lifesaver. We it just did so good. Man,
right in the summer sun. Another question, and just a heads up, y'all, we have about 7 minutes left. Oh, the wig cap's going on. All right, okay. Oh my gosh, we get to finally see it. Ali Reyes, another question is, excluding non-human characters and costume dramas in which human characters normally wear wigs, what percentage of the actors in a show normally wear wigs of some sort? If it's not a historical piece or an animal thing, how many of the actors who we see in present day more simple pedestrian shows are wearing wigs?
Usually the females always have a wig. We just did a show where most of the girls had their natural hair, but there were 2 wigs that played in that show.
Ooh.
Males, unless it's like a period piece, then they usually just as long as it's not contemporary. So there's that rule too that comes along, like don't cut your hair until we say so, or if you're going to get a haircut, you come to the wig shop and we can control it, because we want to keep it to where what the designer is asking for.
Okay.
And one time this guy shaved his head right on opening night. My master was so mad. And I had to go pull a wig for this guy. He was like, go get the worst wig out of that box and put it on. I'm like, yes, sir.
Oh my goodness, day of. Whoa.
Day of, shaved it bald. I was dying. I was like, dude, what is wrong with you? Why did you do that?
Another person would like to know, what's the best powder for film lighting, in your opinion, Ali?
I want to say powder, Makeup Forever, the translucent HD powder. And all the powders kind of when it's that clear HD powder, it bounces the light a certain way. That's usually what they use for film. I believe that's what Mikey uses. Mikey's the makeup artist I work on movies with, and that's usually what he hands me to powder people with. Oh, and one of these puffs, because you can push in, and it takes a lot of, you can cover a lot of space at the same time. And see, I'm not ever wiping. I'm always pushing or kind of like,
Even on top of that super pasty kind of painty makeup. Yeah. Put powder
and we have like a fixer spray. A lot of times we'll have a fixer spray to keep things in place.
Yeah.
And I know, like, sometimes we'd come back from lunch on a movie set and he'd do a spray that had caffeine in it and kind of wakes up the skin a little bit. Yeah. There's so many. Nothing's black and white.
I love the passion in your voice. You definitely don't have to hold it back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, girl.
Oh, and you've got a wig.
Oh my God. I never put my wig cap on. I always have a prep, but I'm gonna try this. Okay, hold on. Hold everything.
Okay, Azucena, I love your wig. It's so pretty and it suits you perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's definitely a fun way to spice up a day in isolation, for sure. All right. Woo! Things left and right. There's another question for Allie. Allie Reyes, who's almost the Easter Bunny at this point. Somebody would like to know, what's the difference between puff and brush and wedge, etc.? I guess in terms of applicators of makeup.
Did you ask me that question?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, tell me again.
Someone online would like to say, what's the difference between puff and brush and wedge, etc., as applicators, I suppose?
As applicators, depending on, okay, so this is for after, this is for powder, this is the puff. Wedge. Huh?
You use them all for different things?
Yeah, it's basically like one, this goes with this.
Ooh, okay.
So this is how you put on the foundation. My eyebrows kind of ran into my wig. It gets all messy like this and fun. And if you're a super pro, you probably have one of those beauty blenders and lots of them. And you wet those first so they don't soak up all the makeup. Yes. And then brush. Let's see, do I have one with me? This is kind of like a foundation brush. Can you guys see that?
Oh yeah.
So this is gonna make the foundation go on like in a paint kind of style. This is gonna make it go on in like a pushed kind of style. Once you're done with everything, you can powder everything down. And this is good for like the loose kind of powder that is kind of like that HD powder. So this is just clear, and you can press like a whole bunch of this kind of powder like this, and you always push it in a little. And every time you give it a little shake, the powder rises up, and then you can pat it like that. And
nice.
Yeah.
And you're basically done, Allie Reyes, right?
Yeah, I'm not pinned in, and I messed up my eyebrows, but that's okay.
That's okay. That's okay. This is a very challenging makeup challenge because of the timing. And actually, everybody ready to wrap up in about 10 seconds or less.
Oh my God, so much fun. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Wait, you're not going anywhere just yet. Hang on.
Oh yeah, not me.
But the makeup challenge, we gotta tidy it up. Okay, this is I think I'm about ready to go. Azucena, that one's, I definitely feel the springy, the playfulness of getting
so cute.
The world. That's so cool to get to bring inside, and I totally see beach vibes on you.
Yes, queen.
It's lovely.
So pretty.
I want to go get white liquid eyeliner. Who knew that was a thing that I would ever, I want that.
That's fun.
So fun.
And I feel like it'd be really good for stage makeup too, because it could create really clean, defined lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Well,
look
maybe
at you.
So let's do a pose so that later we can go back and screenshot it, and then we'll say goodbye to our special guests. Yeah, everybody ready?
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Hi.
Very good. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much, Asusena and Ali, for coming and joining us. And for
Thank you.
resources with us. This was so much fun. And thank you for sharing your resources.
Amazing.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. Bye. And
Bye,
Ali
sweetie.
Reyes, we actually already answered all the questions online. So
Amazing.
Thank you so much for sharing your time and your skills and your vibrant energy. This has been so much fun. And
Thank you.
I look forward to talking with you soon in whatever way
Yeah.
that you look like a wonderful, disgruntled Easter bunny as your motivation was.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Oh, this whole thing I just had it laying around.
Oh, yeah. This whole thing, I just woke up. I filled out of bed.
It's normal. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. And thank you to you at home who've been watching. I hope that you have fun with makeup and find a little way to escape in a safe way. And if you want to support free, accessible online theater programming just like this during a challenging time in San Diego, you can head over to theoldglobe.org/donate. We have the link in the caption to this video, and we really appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being part of innovating the arts as a public service during this time. And I hope that I see you this Friday at 6 p.m. right here on the Old Globe Arts Engagement for the first ever episode of Word Up, which will be a really fun collaboration between you and me and artists from all over San Diego. So thank you so much for joining us. See you next time. Bye.